Put this affirmation in as many places as you can. Put it down on paper. Nothing ever goes wrong in my world. Look at it every day and let it remind you that everything that happens to you is part of God's plan and has a lesson to teach you. You become the witness to your life when you can live in the spiritual world as a spiritual being having a human experience. You say, nothing is going wrong. As you watch it, I don't have to worry about these problems. And I am that nothing ever goes wrong, Raj said. This means that when you live in the spiritual world, you are the observer and not all of the problems, forms, and boundaries that we see in the physical world. Be aware of what you're thinking and how you're talking to yourself. If you keep thinking things that go against your divine eternal essence, you won't be able to live the happy and full life you deserve. Try to control your ego by noticing when you keep saying I. You can choose to stop thinking about yourself. You will have more freedom if you cut back on I. Try to start your sentences with you instead of I as often as you can today. Instead of talking about yourself, ask the other person about themselves. Keep in mind that your country, race, and religion do not define you. You are a spirit that will live on forever. To change the world and make it a holy place for everyone, you can see yourself as a spiritual being without labels. You are not what you see. You are the person who sees what you see. The best way to stop being addicted to something is to go straight to your higher self and give the problem to God. Yes, that's right. Simply flip it over. Give in, knowing that the highest part of you is in the universe. Just say, God, I'm giving this addiction to you. I've tried everything else. I'm giving you a try now. And let the higher part of yourself and God help you get rid of those sensory temptations that you think you can't live without. Let go of the feelings of fear and guilt and fill them with love, forgiveness, and kindness instead. If you feel bad about what you did in the past, remember that you are bringing trouble into your life. Stop feeling guilty by forgiving yourself and promising not to act this way again. Guilt is a waste of your brain power. You are done with everything you've done. There was a lesson in everything. Feeling bad about wasting your time is just one more way to keep yourself from being fully and spiritually alive in the present. Get rid of guilt from your life right now. It's only a thought away. Accept that it seems contradictory that your body will die, but you will live forever. When someone dies, you need to accept that it happened the way it did and stop telling yourself that it shouldn't have. You can give up and you can mourn. You don't die. What was never born will never die. You are an eternal spirit with no form. This tape is changing your life. Going beyond form means that you, the real you, the observer inside, are always and forever. But what it is seeing or noticing is limited by the need for things to start and end. Try to see other people every day without judging them. Every time you judge someone, you move away from your goal of peace. Remember that your judgments don't tell you who someone is. They only tell you who you are as someone who needs to judge. Or, as the New Testament says, don't judge. Don't judge others, or you will be judged too. Every day, give yourself the gift of a quiet retreat. Even if it's only for a few seconds, go back to that key to higher awareness of shutting down that inner dialogue, and remember that this is your way to find peace. At any time, you can close your eyes and go back to that inner divine place that Robert Frost wrote about in his poems. We all sit in a circle and think while the secret sits in the middle and knows that there is a secret inside you that you can only get to by being quiet. Take a moment of silence for yourself. It's the best way to honor someone. A moment of quiet. Give yourself the same chance to have a moment of silence. Always choose to be kind over being right. Keep in mind that you can make that choice every day. And this one thing, being kind instead of right in every interaction you have, will do more to change your life than any course, book, or tape you could ever listen to. Give up your need to be right and be kind. Before the mansion is built, the money is made, and the success is shared with the world, everything starts inside. First, it is thought of. Imagination is not a passive fantasy. It's an act of creativity. It is the divine ability that allows us to make our world feel like $1 million before the 1, 0. 0,000 come. You need to learn how to think differently, on purpose, and over time. You aren't waiting for life to give you money. You are telling reality to show what you really believe. You become what you consistently envision yourself to be, not due to imagination being mere wishful thinking, but because it serves as the origin of all external expression. Your mind is not separate from the world you see. It is formed, colored, and projected by it. When you always see yourself as rich, successful, and free, you are not pretending to make something. You are changing the hidden plan that controls what happens in your life. This isn't being arrogant, it is in line. You are getting in touch with the deeper truth, a higher self, one that is already inside you. It's not that people think too much, it's that they think about the wrong things. They feel poor because they see debt. They see struggle and think they don't have enough, but their senses only confirm what they already know. Imagination shows us what will happen in the future. To really be rich, you have to ignore what your senses tell you and trust your inner vision. This is not denial, it is mastery. It is the secret that no one knows about. Make your imagination your safe place. Go there a lot. Sit quietly and think about what your life would be like if you were already a millionaire. Don't use logic to answer. Feel it. See it in all its color. Take a walk through your dream home. Sit back and relax in your favorite chair. See that your bank account shows that you have a lot of money. Listen to the nice things people say about you. Feel safe, powerful, and happy that you have more than enough. In the tradition, this practice isn't meant to make you rich. It's meant to make you rich on the inside. It is to get to the point where you don't chase after money. It is something that comes to you naturally when you are aware of it. The outside world will catch up, but only if you don't give up. Come back to your inner sanctuary every day. Get into the habit of thinking of yourself as rich. Don't do it to show off to the world. Do it to bring out the truth in you. You can't get rich. You say it, and saying it starts with your imagination. When you lead from the inside, the world will follow you. Imagination is not a way to get away from reality. It is the base of it. Have the courage to dream big, and reality will have to follow. This is the real power that is right in front of you. Your mind is the door to the real world. Finding out what you want to change is the key to doing so. You need to stop reaching for your wants as if they are far away. Instead, act like they are already yours to bring them into the present. Don't wait for the millions to feel rich. If you feel rich now, the millions will have to come. Living in the end means being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in the state of having your desire met before there is any proof of it in the real world. It means thinking about what you want to do, not what you want to do. You don't try to get rich. You become it in your mind. You don't ask when it will happen anymore. You start to act like it has already happened. This is not pretending, it is making. You aren't pretending anything. You are living in a reality that already exists on a higher level. Your job isn't to make it happen. It's to act like you already have it. Every day, ask yourself, how would I act, talk, move, and feel if I were already a millionaire? What choices would I make? What would I no longer have to worry about? What should I expect? To live in the end, you have to let these answers affect how you act right now, not at some point in the future. Even if the outside world hasn't caught up yet, your inner world must show the truth of your fulfilled desire. To live in the end is to have radical faith. It means putting your own beliefs ahead of what is going on around you, and this is the problem. When you really live in the end, the world around you starts to change to fit your new self. The world has no choice but to give in to your dominant state of being. This state must become normal. You shouldn't question it anymore because it should feel so real. You don't want to be rich anymore. You go about your day with the same confidence as someone who already has it. You don't look for signs anymore. You are the sign. The world shows you who you are, not what you want. When doubts come up, and they will, don't fight them. Just go back to the state. 3. Picture the end in your mind, look at it, touch it, live in it, let it calm you down and show you the way. Let the feeling of having your wish come true be your home. Life starts to change around your new identity when this becomes your normal state. Get this, your desire was not meant to hurt you. It was given to wake you up. This seed comes from a higher realm and has everything it needs to grow. But you have to feed it by acting like it already is. So make a choice today. Stop putting off your money. Feel like you already have what you want. Don't wait for the end. Live in the end. From that place, everything is not only possible, but also certain to happen. Money in a bank account doesn't make you rich. It is a way of being. You don't get it. It is something you embody when you feel the wish come true. You don't act like someone who is trying to be successful anymore. You turn into the person who already has it. And as you change, the outside world must change to reflect how you are changing. Your feelings are creative. When you feel bad, needy, or lacking, it sends out a silent signal to the universe, and that signal is always answered. No matter how you say it, the world will still hear you say, "I do not have." But when you feel rich, safe, and full, no matter what else is going on in your life, you are sending out a new signal that makes reality follow. Consumption isn't about work or strength. It is about giving in to the truth of the state you want to be in. To feel like your wish has come true means to live in the emotional space of already having what you want. It is believing that your wish has already come true and living from that belief. You don't need proof to feel differently. You feel different first and then the proof comes. Most people don't understand this big change. The world tells you to respond, but creation tells you to lead. You have to feel the result before it can show itself. You should feel rich now, and the rest of the world should catch up. Think about how it would feel if you didn't have to worry about money anymore. Let that feeling grow in your body. Would you feel better, thankful, or free? Would you walk differently, talk more confidently, and sleep better? That feeling is the most important thing. It's not a dream. It is the plan. You have to go to that state. Take full control of it and get used to it. And here's the lovely secret. You can do this right now. No one can stop you from getting into the state of wealth in your mind. You don't need to ask for permission. You don't have to change the amount of money in your bank account right now. You just have to accept that you are what you want to be in your heart and mind. The world reacts when the feeling becomes natural. It may not happen right away, but it has to happen. The rules of creation are very clear. Keep believing in what you believe and don't let temporary things change your mind. The longer you stay in the state, the more likely it is to show up. So do this every day. Sit still, close your eyes, and picture yourself as the rich person you already are. Not tomorrow, not later. Now feel the warmth of having a lot, the confidence that comes with having a lot, and the calm power that comes with having a lot. Let it cover your mind. Make it a part of who you are. You are not after money. You are showing it. The treasure is already inside. You think about how happy you would be if your wish came true, and the world will change to fit the truth perfectly. You now have the courage to admit that one of the biggest problems with manifestation is that the mind wants to control the past. It wants to know when and how everything will happen. But that need to control every little thing in life is what keeps you from getting what you want. The truth is that you don't care about the path to 1, 0, 0, 0. You don't have to figure out how abundance will come to you. Your only job is to stay loyal to the fact that you are already rich. Desire doesn't come by itself. It has what it needs to come true. The moment you really want something and think it has already happened, the invisible starts to move and the current that people can see changes. Things start to line up with chances and events. But these movements happen out of your line of sight. You might not be able to see the orchestration, but it is going on. When you keep asking how, you are saying that you don't trust the process. You are talking to the universe. I don't think this can happen unless I have control over every step. And so you stop the flow. You make people doubt, worry, and fear. You leave the end state and enter the waiting state, and by doing this, you put off your own manifestation. Not caring about how things happen is not the same as being detached from them. It is smart. Your imagination is the seed, and your assumption is the soil. After you plant it, all you have to do is stay true to what you've made inside. You don't dig up the seed to see if it's growing. You water it with faith. You feed it by doing it over and over. You keep it safe from dare. Rest shows that you have faith. You wouldn't worry about the mechanics if you really thought you were already rich. You wouldn't worry about what to do next. You would have faith that everything is working out for your good, even if you can't see how yet. No, you would definitely move. You would live your life with a calm sense that what you've imagined is already coming. Miracles often come through very normal ways. You might get a call, a job offer, a new friend, or even an idea that seems to come out of nowhere. These things don't just happen, they come from how you feel inside. Don't try to guess what will happen next. Just stay in the feeling of being rich right now, and let the path show itself in its own time and way. Don't worry about the timeline. Don't feel like you have to plan everything out. Stop wanting to doubt when things seem calm. Believe that the stillness isn't the same as being stuck. It's getting ready. The unseen is working together for you. When the time comes, doors will open and you will know which one to go through. Be loyal until the end. That is all you have to do. Get a feel for it. Live it. Believe it. The how will work itself out. Life doesn't want you to control it. It just wants you to go along with it. Let go of the how, and you'll see the impossible become certain. Words are more than just sounds. There are statements of identity. Every time you talk, whether out loud or in your head, you are voting for the version of yourself that you believe in. You have to start talking about the life of a millionaire if you want to live it, not as a far-off goal, but as a present truth. Saying, "I will be rich one day," is very different from saying, "I am rich now." The first keeps your desire in the future, always just out of reach. The latter keeps it in the present, where creation really happens. You don't want to become something. You are saying that you already are. This is where most people make mistakes. They talk about what they want, complain about what they don't have, and talk about not having enough as if it were a permanent state. They beg, wish, and hope, not knowing that these postures only make things worse. But you have to talk from the place you want to be in order to really change your life. You have to claim it in your mind, words, and feelings. Think about what someone who is already very rich might say to themselves. Would they be worried about bills? Would they be obsessed with price tags? Would they talk about struggle and limitation? No. Their words would show that they are confident, peaceful, generous, and have a lot. When you talk like this, your vibration matches the reality you want to enter. Don't let your inner conversations be full of desire. Let them be full of certainty. Let your quiet conversations with yourself, which you do all day, show who you are now. Say to yourself, "I always have more than enough. Money flows easily to me. I make decisions from a place of power. I am blessed beyond measure. You are not lying. Even when appearances contradict, your words persist. Speak from the end result, not from the temporary facts. Creation is not confirmed by what you see. It is confirmed by what you declare. You are not waiting for proof. You are giving life to truth when challenges arise. Do not fall back into old patterns of speech. Speak as the version of yourself who already knows how this story ends. You are not the character trying to win. You are the one who has already won. Let your tone, your energy, your words reflect that reality. Speak with calm authority. Speak with joy. Speak with unshakable belief. Every word you speak carves out your future. Use them wisely. Stop telling the story of struggle. Start telling the story of success. Let the language of wealth become natural to you, not just in affirmations, but in your ordinary conversations, in your private thoughts, and in your daily choices. You don't need the world to validate you. You need only to remain true to the version of yourself that already exists in imagination. Speak from it and life will follow your voice. The universe responds to identity, not effort. So speak now, not as someone who hopes to be a millionaire, but as one who already is manifestation is not a momentary flash of inspiration. It is a steady, deliberate act of faith. The difference between those who manifest their desires and those who fall short is not talent, luck, or external circumstances. It is persistence. Doubt delays, but persistence creates. You must remain loyal to your imagined reality until it becomes the only truth you recognize. To persist means to occupy the state of your fulfilled desire again and again, regardless of what your senses tell. You, the world around you, may scream the opposite of your vision. Your bank account might not yet reflect abundance. Circumstances may appear unchanged, but the persistent one does not waver. They continue to walk, speak, and feel as though their desire is already fat. This is the secret. What you consistently accept as true within must eventually become true without the world cannot resist your sustained inner conviction. But most people give up too soon. They plant the seed of wealth in their imagination, but when results don't appear instantly, they dig it up with doubt. They let the visible override the invisible, and so they start over again and again, never allowing the new state to take root. But if you will persist quietly, confidently, without needing evidence, you will see your assumption harden into fact. It may come slowly at first, like a distant echo, a small shift here, a new opportunity there, but soon the momentum builds. Life begins to reshape itself around your dominant state. The outer world conforms to the inner blueprint. Persistence is not about force. It's about faithfulness. You are staying true to your new identity, not because you want to make something happen, but because you know it already has. There is nothing to chase, only something to become. You live as the millionaire now, not tomorrow or someday. You buy in your imagination. You live in gratitude, and you think from abundance. You do this over and over until it becomes natural. And when it becomes natural, it becomes real. Great manifestation begins with persistence. The dreamer holds on to their dream through silence, setbacks, and appearances. They trust the unseen more than the seen. They speak wealth into being even when no one else sees it. They are not moved by facts. They are anchored in truth, and that truth is simple. You already are what you want to be. It's done. All you have to do is stay in that knowing long enough for the outside world to catch up. You don't have to beg, hustle, or prove anything. You just have to keep going. So hold the image, feel the feeling, say the words, walk in the assumption, and do it until there is no doubt. Until it becomes easy, until the inside becomes outside, reality will bend. The world will change, and what used to be only in your mind will become real. Now you know that the millionaire version of you is not waiting somewhere far away. It is here now, ready to be claimed. You don't start to be rich by doing things. You start by being. You think it, you feel it, you say it, and you stay true to it in your mind until the unseen becomes seen. Live in the end. Feel it, let go of the how, speak from it. Keep going without stopping. This is the divine formula. This is the path walked by those who understand that reality begins within. No matter where you are right now, know this. Your current circumstances are not the final word. You are the operant power. The authority over your life rests in your ability to feel a new state, to inhabit it, and to trust it until it becomes flesh. Dare to believe that what you imagine is more real than what you see. Dare to remain faithful to your inner vision in a world that insists you be realistic, and dare above all to feel now what you once reserved for the future. Because when you feel it now, the future must obey. Thank you. Thank you for opening your heart to this message. Thank you for daring to dream bigger, and thank you for choosing right now to step into the most powerful truth of all. You already are what you desire to be. The rest is just catching up. My dear wonderful friends, tonight I shall share with you the most powerful secret in all of creation. How to speak to yourself in a way that will completely transform your world in just 3 days. Not in 3 months, not in 3 years, but in 3 days. For you see, the power of your inner conversation is absolute, and it is the only true creative power in the universe. Now, when I tell you to talk to yourself, I am not speaking of the idle chatter that most engage in throughout their day. I speak of that inner conversation that is deliberate, conscious, and aligned with your desired state. For your inner conversation is your consciousness externalized, and your consciousness is God. Consider the words of Scripture. In the beginning was the Word. These words are not speaking of some external deity's utterance. They speak of your inner word, your inner conversation. For you are the operant power, and your inner conversation is the word that creates all things. Many of you come to me asking, Wayne, how long must I wait to see my desires manifest? And I tell you now, give yourself 3 days of proper inner conversation, and you will see your world begin to transform. For 3 is the number of completion in Scripture. And when you maintain the proper inner conversation for 3 days, you set in motion forces beyond your current understanding. Let me share with you exactly how to conduct this inner conversation. First, you must understand that your inner conversation must be from the end. You do not speak of what you want to be true. You speak as though what you desire is already true. This is the great secret that most of the world has missed. When you wake in the morning of your first day, your inner conversation must be from the state of your wish fulfilled. If you desire wealth, your inner conversation must be that of a wealthy person. If you desire health, your inner conversation must be that of a healthy person. If you desire love, your inner conversation must be that of someone who is deeply loved. But then this is crucial. Your inner conversation must feel natural. It must not be strained or forced, for feeling is the secret, and your inner conversation must be accompanied by the feeling of naturalness. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When David spoke to Goliath, his inner conversation was not, I hope I can win, or I will try my best. His inner conversation was from the state of victory already achieved. This is why he could say with complete conviction, this day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand. Now for these 3 days you must guard your inner conversation as though your life depends upon it, because it does. Every time you catch yourself engaging in inner conversation that contradicts your desired state, you must immediately revise it. This is not a suggestion, this is a command. If you wish to see your world transform, consider this. Every outer conversation you have is first an inner conversation. Every relationship you have is first an inner conversation. Your inner conversation is what shapes every situation in your life. So, by changing your inner conversation for just 3 days, you literally change the whole substance from which your world is made. Let me show you how to structure your inner conversation during these 3 days. Before you open your eyes or move a muscle in the morning, you should talk to yourself as if your wish has already come true. For example, if you want to be wealthy, your inner conversation might be, I am so grateful for my abundant life. Money flows to me easily and continuously. I am surrounded by prosperity. But these words must not be just affirmations. You must say them with the feeling that they are already true. Your inner conversation needs to stay just as sure of itself all day long. Your inner conversation needs to stay strong when problems come up, and they will. If someone talks about not having enough, you should talk to yourself about having plenty. When someone talks about being sick, you should talk about being healthy. This is where most people give up on trying to change their world. They let their inner talk get pulled into what's going on right now instead of keeping the talk about what they want to happen. But I want you to know that your inner conversation is not affected by outside events unless you let them. For the next 3 days, you must keep your new inner conversation going without stopping. When you walk down the street, you need to be thinking about what you want to be. Your inner dialogue should be in the state you want it to be in when you eat. When you get ready for bed, the things you say to yourself should come from your desired state. I want to share with you a principle that I have tested and proven many times. The only thing that is real is what you say to yourself. Everything else, every single thing, is just a shadow of the conversation you have with yourself. So if you keep the right inner conversation going for 3 days, you really do make a new world. A lot of you are probably thinking, Wayne, 3 days seems like too short a time to change my whole world. Remember the story of Jonah. How long did he stay in the whale's stomach? 3 days, and after 3 days he was different, and so was his world. This is not a coincidence, my dear friends. This is the law. You only need 3 days of good inner talk to get the forces that will change your world going. But these 3 days must be full days, not 3 days of going back and forth between states. For these 3 days, you need to be careful about what you say to yourself, both when you're awake and when you're going to sleep. This is because the last thing you say to yourself before you go to sleep is very important. It keeps echoing in your mind while you sleep. So as you get ready for bed over these 3 days, your inner dialogue must be in line with how you want to feel. If you want your business to do well, you might say to yourself, I am so grateful for my successful business. Customers love the services we offer. Profits keep going up. But keep in mind, and this is very important, that your inner conversation needs to feel natural. You should feel as comfortable talking about this as you do about what you had for breakfast. This is where the strength is, not in the words themselves, but in the way they make you feel natural. I want to tell you about another rule. The conversations you have with yourself shape the conversations you have with others. So, for these 3 days, you need to pay special attention to what you say to other people as well. They need to be in line with your new inner voice. If someone asks you how you are, you should answer based on how you want to feel. If someone talks to you about their problems or troubles, you should respond in a way that shows how you want to feel. Your outside conversation has to perfectly match your new inside conversation. A lot of you might find this hard at first. You might want to talk about what's going on right now instead of what you want to happen. But I want you to know that this is where your power lies, keeping your new conversation going no matter what. Think about the story of Jesus walking on water. What was he talking to himself about? Was it about how you can't walk on water? Was it because the storms were dangerous? No. He was in charge of all natural laws, and his outer world had to follow what he was saying to himself. You need to keep the same level of conviction in your inner conversation for these 3 days. When you talk to yourself, you should act as if what you want is already true, not like it will be, not as if it could be, but as if it is. Let me show you how to deal with doubts that come up during these 3 days, and they will come up. Don't fight a doubt that comes into your mind. Instead, change what you're saying to yourself right away. If you find yourself thinking, this isn't working, change it right away. Everything is going perfectly. Things are changing in my world right now. This change must happen right away and be full. You shouldn't let doubt stay in your mind, for remember, the only real thing is what you say to yourself. So if you have a conversation with yourself that makes you doubt, your outer reality will also make you doubt. During the 3 days, you should be grateful for everything that comes to mind. Be thankful for what you already have in your desired state, not for what you hope will come. You should think about this thankfulness all day long. You should be thankful when you wake up in the morning. You should always be thankful when you go about your daily life. When you get ready for bed, you should be thankful in your mind. Let me tell you another rule. The things you say to yourself shape how you feel. Your inner states also make your outside world. So, for these 3 days, your inner dialogue needs to create and keep the feeling of your wish coming true. If you want to be rich, you need to talk to yourself in a way that makes you feel rich. If you want to be healthy, you need to talk to yourself in a way that keeps you in a healthy state of mind. If you want love, you need to talk to yourself in a way that makes you feel loved. A lot of you might be wondering what to do if you lose track of your inner conversation during these 3 days. I want to be very clear. You shouldn't blame yourself. Instead, change the conversation right away. Keep in mind that you are teaching yourself how to have a new inner dialogue. It takes practice, just like any other kind of training. During these 3 days, you should pay close attention to what you're saying to yourself. Keeping up your new inner conversation should come before everything else. This conversation is literally changing your world. Let me show you how to organize your inner thoughts to get what you want. If you want a new home, you might say to yourself, I love living in my beautiful new home. It fits me perfectly in every way. If you want a promotion, you might be saying to yourself, I am so grateful for my new job. It's everything I wanted and more. But don't forget that these are not just words. The feeling of living in that new home must go along with them. How it feels to work in that new job. The key is to be happy. And what you say to yourself must make you feel like your wish has come true. During these 3 days, you need to have a clear inner conversation. If you talk to yourself in a vague way, you'll get vague results. So be clear with yourself about what you want to happen. Talk to yourself in a clear way about what you're thankful for, what you're going through, and what you're enjoying in your ideal state. Let me tell you about another rule. The way you talk to yourself shapes how you see yourself. Your self-image shapes your world. So, for these 3 days, you should be talking to yourself about who you are, not just what you have. If you want to be successful, you need to talk to yourself about how to be successful. If you want to be rich, you need to talk to yourself about being rich, not just about having money. If you want love, you need to talk to yourself about being loved, not just about being in a relationship. You need to keep talking to yourself for these 3 days, not in the sense of talking all the time, but in the sense of being in line with what you want all the time. You should be aware of your inner conversation from the state you want to be in. Let me show you how to keep this going. Set reminders for yourself at different times during the day. When you look at your watch, eat a meal, or walk into a room, let these things remind you to check what you're saying to yourself. But don't forget that your inner voice shouldn't sound robotic. It has to be in line with feeling rich with the emotion of what you want, because it's the feeling that gives your inner conversation strength. During these 3 days, your inner conversation must be in charge. You can't let anyone or anything, not even your own thoughts, tell you what to think or say, not your past, not your circumstances, and not other people's opinions. You should be the only one who can control your inner conversation. Let me tell you another rule. The things you say to yourself shape your expectations, and your expectations shape your experience. So, for these 3 days, your inner dialogue needs to set the highest standards for yourself. A lot of you might be thinking, "But Wayne, what if the state I want seems impossible?" Let me remind you that your inner conversation can do anything. Your inner voice is God at work, and God can do anything. For these 3 days, your inner dialogue should focus on possibility rather than probability. You have to talk to yourself as if your wish has already come true. No matter how likely or unlikely it may seem to your rational mind, let me show you how to deal with what seem like failures during these 3 days. Your inner conversation must stay the same even if something happens that seems to go against what you want. You need to talk to yourself as if the failure you think you see is actually part of the perfect way your desire is coming true. The conversation you have with yourself is what makes your reality, not the other way around. So, unless you give it that power, nothing outside of you can change your inner conversation. During these 3 days, your inner voice must always be there for you. It should be the way you see everything, the way you understand everything, and the way you judge everything. Let me tell you about another rule. The way you talk to yourself shapes your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your reality. So, for the next 3 days, your inner conversation needs to always support the beliefs that will help you reach your goal. For these 3 days, the way you talk to yourself must be exactly how you want to be. You need to talk to yourself like that person would, feel and think like that person would. I want to tell you how to keep this level of awareness. If you catch yourself talking like you used to, ask yourself right away, how would I talk to myself if I were already the person I want to be? Then change the way you talk to yourself. For the next 3 days, you should be thinking about what is not, what was, or what could be. You need to talk to yourself in the present tense as if your wish has already come true. This is very important for making your wish come true. Here's another rule I want to share with you. Your thoughts shape your present, which in turn shapes your future. So, for these 3 days, your inner conversation needs to turn your desired future into your present reality. A lot of you might be wondering what will happen after these 3 days. If you've been having the right inner conversation for 3 days, you will have set in motion forces that will make your desire come true. For these 3 days, your inner voice must be your main tool for creating. Keeping up your new inner conversation should come before any other method, technique, or approach. Here's how to tell if what you're saying to yourself is right. Your inner conversation is right if it feels natural, real, and true, even if there is evidence to the contrary. You need to protect your inner conversation like a precious jewel during these 3 days. You have to protect it from doubt, fear, and negativity, because the things you say to yourself are what make up your world. Let me tell you about another rule. The way you talk to yourself shapes your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with yourself shapes all of your other relationships. So, for these 3 days, your inner voice should show how much you love yourself. For the next 3 days, your inner dialogue should be your sacred practice. You should treat it with the same respect that a priest gives his prayers, a scientist gives his experiments, and an artist gives his work. Here's how to keep up this level of devotion. Think of your inner dialogue as the way you connect directly with the universe's creative power. That's exactly what it is. Your mind is making your world right now. During these 3 days, your inner voice should always remind you of who you really are. The force that makes things happen in your world, the God of your uniqueness. And that, my dear friends, is how you need to talk to yourself for 3 days if you want to change your world. Not once in a while, not sometimes, but all the time. Because the Word of God is at work in your inner conversation, it can't come back empty. Keep this in mind. Your world is what you say to yourself. So, for the next 3 days, protect your inner conversation as if your life depended on it, because it does. What are you going to do with this information? Will you keep having the same old inner conversations that have always worked? Or will you start today to have a new inner conversation that will create a new world? You can choose, but the law is clear. The things you say to yourself shape your reality. So, for 3 days, talk to yourself as if your wishes have already come true. You'll see your world change. That's what I want to say to you tonight. Not because it's simple, but because it's real. Not because it's easy, but because it works. Not because you thought you would hear it, but because you needed to hear it. 3 days of good inner conversation will change your life, so keep that in mind. Every time